Hello Internet, this is BoneCarlos coming to you live from Shakuras Plateau to bring you another StarCraft 2 commentary. Spawning in the bottom right we have Titanium as the red Protoss and appropriately named Blue as the blue Terran, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of the map. Now what's interesting about these two starting positions is that they're very close by air, so any kind of air harassment or any kind of drops is going to be very easy to pull off. So generally you want to build a couple of cannons or turrets or spore crawlers if you notice your opponent spawning across from you in these directions. Otherwise, it is a fairly easy map to play on. There is a very easy natural that you could take by walling off here. Most of the time people wall off here, but if you want to fast expand, you just wall off here very easily, get your second command center nexus or hatchery up, and away you go. This is going to be, I believe this is a gold. Titanium is a gold league player, while Blue is a platinum league. So very interesting to see what comes out and what comes out in the outcome. We see supply depot being built, so pretty much standard at the right amount of time. We see barracks going down for Blue. We see Titanium kind of deciding to actually go in refinery first, which is very interesting. I'd like to see what he's planning on doing. Probably some cheeky shenanigans with some sort of tech structures. Taking a look at the APM, they are very evenly matched at 27 and 26 respectively. While he's actually, Titanium is spiking up to 146, 40 something. So there the barracks finally goes down. More than likely with this refinery first, he's probably going to go for a tech lab. Quick marauders to go from there. We see Blue just finishing up his refinery. As we could already see, Titanium already has about 30 gas up. We see the scouting going down. We see cross map. Blue's going cross map, while Titanium has already went cross map as well. And he finally found Blue's base. Probably going to be a little bit harassing, poking, and prodding, or possibly not, since that Marine does take out those scouting probes workers very easily. We see Titanium actually walling off completely, probably trying to hide the fact that he had actually double refinery going down. So he's probably trying to hide the fact that he's gonna be going gas heavy. I'd be interested to see what he builds on here. More than likely a tech lab, or more than likely an early factory. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. In the production tab, we pretty much have an orbital command already going down for Blue, and none for Titanium as of yet. So actually, there it goes down as soon as that SCV started finished up. Over here in Camp Blue, we see everything's gonna hunky-dory. We actually see a second refinery finally going down. We got 2 Marines at the ramp, and the first one is probably going to come out any second now for Titanium. We see a factory going down, and with these double refinery, we're more than likely going to see Cloak Banshee play coming from Titanium. Usually, it's a fairly solid opening up against the other two races. The only reason I say it's not so good against Terran, because one scan right here will just show everything. Maybe placing this factory over here or possibly over here just to hide it from those initial scans will probably be a best bet. So keeping it away from the middle map, the middle of your base, is probably the best way to go. We see a bunker going down for Blue, just to make sure there's no kind of craziness going on. Very straightforward. We see 1, 2, 3 barracks done. We see a tech lab and double tech lab. Very interesting. So we're most likely going to see a reactor on this one go down, since we do see 2 tech labs. So we're going to be a Marauder heavy force. It's going to be very interesting to see. We could also see some sort of Reaper play, and look at that. I swear I did not see the production tab. I did not know what was going on. So Reaper play, very easy to go. Just jump up here, jump up there, pick off these SCVs, and everything's hunky-dory. I do believe 2 Reapers one-shot SCVs, so you could see a lot of damage coming from Blue towards Titanium's base very quickly. You see a starport is finally going down. Tech lab is done on that factory, so it's going to be a quick old swap-a-roo, or we're actually going to see siege mode going down. Very interesting. Both players are supply block. We see his we see 2 supply depots building up for Blue, 1 for Titanium. We see siege mode about a quarter of the way done. Nothing too crazy. There you go. 3 Reapers are on the field to play. We're going to go ahead and see how this is going to go down. So as for the units, we got 3 Reapers, 2 Marines, 5 Marines for Titanium. So those 3 Reapers are probably going to be very crucial. He's actually keeping these Marines close, exactly where you want to keep them, just in case any kind of harassment comes his way. Scan does reveal the starport. alongside this tech lab. So we're actually gonna see a drop here, more than likely with a siege mode tanks with a couple of Marines as backup is probably gonna be very devastating, especially if you manage to drop them right over here. Have a siege tank just siege up right here with a couple of Marines as backup, so they come down, so it doesn't go down too quickly. We do have, wow, that is a lot of Reapers. 6 Reapers going down, kind of hanging around this little smiley face of an expansion over here. We're gonna see him just jump up here. We're gonna see how much damage is going to go down. See, Blue is just just ignoring this supply depot. Actually, almost brings it down, and there it goes. You have to pull those SCVs off the line because these Reapers are going to do a lot of damage. Siege mode is done right on time. These Reapers are going to have to be a hasty retreat. We see how they're almost, wow, that was just huge. This just goes to show you how powerful these siege tanks are. I mean, they do 35 damage, 50 versus armored, and since these only have 50 damage, 50 health as it is, it pretty much two shots them very, very easily. So we're gonna go see, probably gonna go see a drop here coming any second now, possibly with these two siege tanks along with the second one. There it is. We're gonna see a second medevac gonna go ahead and pick up 5-6 of these Marines. Probably gonna drop it right over here and just have fun with that. We still don't see any kind of expansion going down, I don't think. Nope. Stimpack just being researched for Blue. He's just starting up a starport, and we just see SCVs and Marines coming from Titanium. This medevac is all done, so we're gonna go ahead and see a load up real quick, I assume. And we're gonna go ahead and see a quick little push. I mean, he does have pure Reapers, and I don't see how Blue is gonna be able to hold this off. He does have 5 Marines and 1 siege tank, so we're gonna go ahead and see how that holds up against 2 siege tanks and 10 Marines at the moment. Siege mode isn't even done yet. I mean, it's about 75%, and here comes the drop. We're gonna go ahead and see how this goes. He drops it right on top of those Reapers, but those siege tanks are just way too powerful. Siege mode is done. Stimpack wasn't done, and I like to see it done. Cause that much more of a damage, but you know what, right now it doesn't really matter. The damage is being done. These Marines are just gonna chill right here, gonna hang out, gonna get healed up by these medevacs while these siege tanks have a day, has a couple go down from the siege mode that Blue is from the siege tank that Blue has for himself. So he just really needs to hang around right out here. Let this siege mode take out anything in this vicinity. I mean, we see all these right here, and he's appropriately scouting off with these medevacs, making sure these siege tanks don't get any kind of close. As long as he holds them right here, we're going to see a lot of damage come his way. We're going to see the SCVs going in and try to tank test damage while these siege tanks kind of bring down these siege mode siege tanks, and it actually does hold it off very well. We see Titanium packing up and going home. We see actually Blue pulling down his command center, and it's actually completed. It is actually all done. So we do see 2 bases by Blue, while Titanium only has 1. He does have a couple of more siege tanks coming up, but really that attack, we're gonna go ahead and see how that attack went out. 21 units lost for Blue, 12 for Titanium, but the resources are fairly average. We see him just kind of trying to pick off this command center, but I really don't see it happening. I mean, especially with his siege tanks right over here. Just gonna make it pack up, go home, making sure to just poke around. It's probably gonna stay around here somewhere to make sure this command center doesn't go down too easily. Actually, he's just gonna go ahead and keep this harassment going. Gonna go ahead and drop these in that mineral line. Too bad there is a siege tank right there, ready to mop any kind of damage that these Marines pull off. So Titanium's gonna go ahead and pack up, maybe go home. I know I've been saying that for 3 or 4 times now, but it looks like he is finally deciding to head back to base. Otherwise, nothing too crazy. We see Titanium still hasn't started producing his own expansion. You see the resources are fairly low, and we actually see a huge food difference. Titanium actually at 61, while Blue's only at 43. That's actually a very good to do, especially if you're going to be playing a mirror match. His command center, Blue's command center, finally gets down on his natural expansion. We're probably going to go ahead and see mining any second now. Taking a look at the APM, Blue is over here at 50, while Titanium is at 36. It's pretty much where you're going to expect to be at, especially with Blue trying to hold off those little drops. We actually see a missile turret about 75% done, probably killed off that SCV. Blue still hasn't caught on, just a little click, right click. We'll probably finish that up real quickly. We see his expansion morphing into the orbital command, and we see another drop. Ooh, a nice drop coming from Titanium. I would love for him to just drop it right here so that siege mode tanks do not do any kind of damage to his units. And he drops it at the wrong spot. These siege tanks are actually sieging up. We see 1 drops. both of Blue's siege tanks go down. We're going to see a lot of damage going down. As long as he go ahead and micro this correctly, keeps it away from this siege mode, we're going to see a lot of damage go down. We see him. Oh, I would love to see these Marines just getting pulled back a little bit. And there it is, there it is, there it is. We see 2 siege mode tanks up for Titanium. He's going to keep just destroying, pummeling away at these buildings, at the structure while the Marines go down and take care of these SCVs. He's just delaying. He's delaying mining for so long. This is a fantastic play. Whether it's delivered or not, this is fantastic play and something he should be doing again. Here we go, another SCV push, trying to take down these siege mode tanks. We see a lot of damage being done by Titanium, while these Marines over here just start cleaning, mopping things up over here. We see a missile turret over here finished. We'd actually like to see him just kind of right click over, micro a little bit more. There it is. Bring them down, those missile turrets. Actually, siege mode is going to go ahead and chase it away. And we see a Viking on the field of play for Blue. Beautiful, beautiful is what you want to see, especially when you know your opponent's doing a lot of drops. And that second drop by Titanium is cleaned up by Blue. Let's go ahead and take over at the income tab, and it shows. I mean, Blue is over here at exactly half. There is no gas being mined, and about half the minerals. Harvester, we're going to see 16 for Blue, 24 for Titanium, and you never know with Terran, because they do have those OP mules. He's actually just starting with his command center. He is quite behind in that respect, but other than that, he's doing very well to keeping his opponent pinned back and just doing as much economical damage as possible. We see 1, 2, 3 Vikings coming in. We already see 2 on the field of play, and a couple of siege tanks coming up. You actually see him adding a couple more barracks, while the supply is huge. I mean, you see Titanium at 67, Blue at 39. Blue does have an excess of minerals, but not so much ahead of Titanium. I would actually love to see him research. I'm not even sure if he has stem yet. He doesn't even have stem yet, but the fact that he's doing a lot of drops and he's relying on these siege tanks is really no big deal. He doesn't even have any tech labs on these barracks. I would love for him to just plop down a couple of tech labs, maybe a reactor or 2 once this command center gets down and morphed into an orbital command. We see Blue finally trying to get his economy back up and running, and we actually see everything actually quite even. That just goes to show the power of those mules and how they could relate into just keeping up, especially after getting a lot of damage done by drops and everything of that nature. We see a couple of SCVs just kind of hanging out idly. Maybe this is just in case any kind of repair needs to be done. He doesn't want to deal with that kind of micro. We actually see a nice force from Blue coming up, but this SCV just spots everything. So Blue knows it's coming. He's actually preparing quite well for it, setting up these siege modes right over here, exactly where you want him to be able to take these off, and he just wants to stay away from that little ring. He'll find out exactly where that damage is as soon as he crosses it, and I'm just feel bad for this little... Oh, what just towing that line, Marine. Good job for you, staying alive. We actually see him sieging up, making sure nothing like that, make sure no Marines just kind of stem down and take care of, rush past that. But he's actually moving back, nice little micro, skirting around the fire range of Blue, and Blue is forced to lift off his command center. And oh, see, this is what I mean. If he would have had stem research, this command center would have gone down, no problem. One stem would have brought it down the rest of the way. And the harvesters are even, 24 at 26, and the income tab is actually, wow, look at that, pretty much dead even. But oh, is he trying to go? He wants to pick off that overcommand so much. But honestly, if he had that stem pack already researched, it would have done the job. And this, oh, bad rally point right there. You might want to take care of that next time you're going to be playing, because that was just a Viking you threw away. So we see back in Titanus, we see his natural expansion up and running. He's actually setting up a nice contain over here. I like the spread out of these siege tanks, making sure that nothing goes too crazy and no enemies really push too forward. And wow, this is a very nice contain done by Titanium, and needless. This is very pointless, Titanium. You just want to keep it back. You have them contained. This is exactly where you want. This is what you want to do. You want to go ahead and do that right off the bat, and then just expand, or just build tech structures to be able to just keep out producing your opponent. We see him kind of just pushing forward, trying to pick off these Vikings, but really there's really no point to it. You're causing a lot of damage. Maybe go ahead and send these back home, repair them up to get back to full health. We're gonna go see if another Viking falls prey to this missile turret. Looks like he actually did change that rally point up a little bit. so they don't fall prey to those missiles. You see the Marauders and Marines going down, but still no combat shields, no stim upgrades, and no concussive shells. I wonder if even he does have tech labs finally plop down on these, and you see them all three being researched, but fairly late in the game. I'd also like to see him put down maybe an engineering bay or two to be able to research those +1 weapons and armor. We see Blue just stuck back in his base, and once we see the field division, we see Blue Titanium actually has control of the entire map. I'd actually like to have him place a Marine right over here so he just has a bigger field of vision to make sure that Blue isn't trying anything crazy. Maybe plop down a sentry tower here or over here, just to make sure no drops are coming his way. And if we look from Blue's point of view, I mean, what does he see? He has an SCV or a Reaper right over here, and he just sees just barely units just streaming by. But other than that, he doesn't have much else. I mean, he has to stay back. He has to be wary of these drops, and his main, he's practically mined out. I mean, he got what, 255, 400? Yep, 600 minerals left. He needs to make a push right here and right now, or else he's going to be losing this game. But Titanium just has such a nice container, and he doesn't really have to worry since he has a second command center. We actually see him producing very well with that macro, and just Blue just really can't do much else. And here comes probably the final push, and Titanium decides to retreat. Not sure why. Right now he has an opportunity to throw away units really if he so chose, but he's actually choosing to retreat. I would actually just kind of settled in and just lost this tiny little task force just to be able to take down more units, because right now every single unit for Blue is very, very precious. He's actually setting up a nice little defensive structure so he can just bring that command center back over here to be able to start mining from his natural. Actually, I would love to see Titanium right now just plop down an extra command center just to start mining minerals here, or maybe even here, just to get that third expansion up, just to be able to get that much further ahead of Blue. And as you can see in the in-cap, I mean, it's not even any kind of contest right now. As for the units lost, we got 64 for Blue, 41 for Titanium, while the resources still remain mostly the same. And there we go. We see an SCV building this command center right over here, and this is exactly what you want to be doing. Blue finally retakes his natural for the second time, and everything is just pretty much just staying still at a standstill. We actually see Blue kind of just went around and probably tried to pick off a couple of medevacs hanging out here and there, but just Titanium has too many to be able to do so effectively. I would actually love to see Titanium actually go around and start scouting these areas, make sure there's no secret expansion going down anywhere, because since he already had that such a nice contain earlier in the game. In the production tab, we see nothing too out of the ordinary. We see reactors, we see a couple of Marauders, but nothing too crazy going on. We see Titanium just setting up a little base right over here in the middle, and he finally took that Zelnog watchtower, took care of that Reaper that was right over here. And he's actually, looks like he's just gearing up to make another push. And power of the mules. The power of the mules. We actually see the resource income tab actually coming up right around average. And we actually see 26 harvesters for Titanium, fairly low at this stage of the game, while Blue has a 31. But that really doesn't matter that much. I mean, sure, Titanium has mined out completely his main, and he has full saturation right over here at his natural. And but once he gets this one up and running, you're gonna see that that income just skyrocket. I'm not sure what this is about, just throwing away 5 units left and right. He probably lost 3 or 4. I mean, yeah, he lost quite a bit of Vikings over here. He's gonna actually probably gonna trying to get him to split his workers, and there it is, a nice little push by Titanium. We're gonna see the medevacs just giving him field division, and we actually see he's stemming up, taking out this expansion. Exactly what he wants to do. Just go ahead and focus down this expansion. If he brings us down, the game is over, since Blue really won't have another mining base. I mean, he does have this one over here in his main, but really, if he brings us down, he's actually going to be able to be fine. But if actually Titanium says, no, forget that, I'm just going to go ahead and ram my soldiers down his throat and finish this game right here, right now. We see the APM tab fairly average. I mean, there's really not much you need to do when you're, you really don't need to micro these stemmed units. And Blue leads the game. Blue leads the game. This is actually a very fantastic game. It was actually very nice contain, and I believe that Titanium won the game because of the contain he had here when he pushed forward, forced Blue to retreat off that natural, and just set up a nice contain over here for about 5 minutes while he mined out his main. After that, it was all just downhill from there for Blue. And as you can see, Titanium is just having a great time being a player, an opponent that's on a higher lead. It always feels nice, and he's gonna go ahead and keep keep shooting until he decides to leave. So that was it for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave a comment down below on what I could do to make these more enjoyable for you. If not, well, then leave a comment down below anyway. Tell me how awesome I am. It makes me feel good on the inside in my tummy region. With that, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Later.